have a lot of key variety of speakers in this session. We have from Telangana, we have a policymaker with us, we have institutional speakers with us. Next speaker I would like to invite from industry for an industry presentation. I would request Mr. Nagendran Sundararajan, Executive Vice President of MeritTrac Services Private Limited, to deliver an industry presentation. A round of applause for Mr. Sundararajan, please.
We are talking about a topic, we'll be discussing about a topic which is very relevant and that gets discussed regularly in many of the forums. But before we get into specifics, I just wanted to walk you through some of the data that we have seen in the media. Probably around the year 2010, what were the key concerns around examination? If you ask that question, we will say that the key concerns were people were talking about introduction of technology, how do we bring in computer in exam conduct, computer-based examinations, and people were also talking about at that time something around paper leaks. It's been there for decades. I would say that wherever you have human beings, we have seen this in the past. People were talking about improving efficiency in evaluation, and people were talking about logistics, delay in delivery, accuracy in assessments. So these were the ones that were being discussed around 2010, and there is a research that was done around 2010, and they said that what are all the key parameters that people should look at or people are expecting: speed of results, transparency, accuracy, and security. And this is what every student or stakeholder was looking for whenever it comes to the examinations. The ability to manage, and when they looked at it, what were the challenges? The challenge was around volume, availability of infrastructure, and technology expertise. And this is coming out of the research in 2010. But if you really look back, there are a number of exams that have gone in computer-based tests, and people have overcome those challenges. And some of the brands or some of the exams are just given there. So we all have seen that it is possible, and this country can move on to the technology mode and deliver the exams in the computer-based tests. And people were also very sure about the roadmap that most of the examinations will move on the technology mode over a period of time. And now if you really look at the numbers across the country in terms of the number of examinations moving on to the computer-based tests, it's quite encouraging. But now let's move to 2016. We talked about the concerns in 2010, but if you look at the concerns in 2016, people are talking about concerns around the descriptive examinations. Whatever the concerns that were spoken around 2010 was around technology adoption. Of course, the descriptive examination was included, but today it is around the candidate authentication and the descriptive examinations, and that's what being talked about. So if you look at the entire exam cycle, what are the classic vulnerabilities that are seen in any exam today? We are not going to talk about any specific exam here. In general, if you talk about the vulnerabilities, the challenge starts right from the question paper setting. Today, the question paper setting is being done by a set of subject matter experts, probably in an offline mode. There are processes running, and these processes are by and large same across many boards, universities, or even I would say that any exam body. This is running for more than 100 years. The biggest difficulty in introducing a change in an exam system is that the cycle is every 6 months or every 1 year. So if you are talking about a technology transition there, it's very hard for the administrators to bring in 100% accuracy in one single transition. And you can't do a half measure. If you go back to some of the technology transitions that we have seen in the country, let's talk about right from maybe a passport or income tax office, or you talk about railways, they all have taken over a period of time. They had moved slowly over a period of time. Whereas in examinations, it's very different. If there is any specific issue, it straight hits the media and the stakes are very, very high. So this is making the job of the administrator a lot more difficult to bring in changes, particularly in this industry. So we starting from question paper setting, then you are talking about, in the old world, question paper printing, logistics, we are talking about storage of this question paper, and then answer script management. So once the students write the descriptive exams, the numbers are so huge that how do you manage those answer scripts? How do you bring in efficiency in evaluation, and how do you bring in efficiency and accuracy in the entire evaluation system and post-evaluation system? If somebody is putting an RTI, how are you pulling out that answer script in a timely manner, in an, what I would say, within the given constraints? Probably some exam bodies are doing the scanning post-examination. I do not know how far that is efficient, but the candidates are looking forward to seeing their answer scripts probably maybe in 4 days, 5 days, 1 week. And that's the requirement coming up from the industry today. Now, if you talk about the current vulnerabilities in the existing exam development process, the question papers are made well in advance. It has to be made well in advance, obviously, because no choice. We'll have to plan for that. And there are multiple stakeholders who will know the final question paper. Human being is involved. There is no option of removing a human being, but multiple people will get to know, probably 5, 10. If there is an administrator coming and asking the question on how do you maintain the secrecy when there are 10 people, we have seen challenges in some boards, some universities. That's unfortunate, but that's the way the system is built today. And also, securing the final question paper is very difficult for the kind of issues that, primarily due to the kind of issues that we have seen in the recent past, and also due to the methods and techniques that has been used over a period of years. So we talk about getting printed, and then you using logistics, storing in one safe place, and then again moving into a exam center mode. This is what is currently running. In addition to this, I do not know how many of us have seen, probably if you find a candidate who has scored very well in his entrance exam or in his board exam, probably I will remove the board, I'll talk about the entrance exams, and if he is not doing well in the class, we will try to attach that reason to probably a coaching institute. That's what people normally do. But that's not the only reason. There is one more possibility, which is clearly an impersonation. Just go back to some of the process that all of us, I'm not looking at any individual, all of us that we follow here is a hall ticket, which is coming today as a soft copy. You can fire a black and white printout, and it doesn't take too long for anyone to remove that image and put somebody else's image and walk with a hall ticket, which no invigilator will be able to find out by looking at maybe an election ID card or another driving license. By comparing this with the hall ticket. It's just not possible. It's humanly not possible for the invigilator to find a difference. Therefore, impersonation is there in the industry, and it's very difficult for anyone to find out. Of course, we've seen in some examinations, but there has to be a solution because the technology has moved, people have found ways and means to break into the examinations, and the stakes are high. So given this situation, post the examination, we are also talking about the issues that today we face in the descriptive examination. We'll have to get all the evaluators at one place, and that has been the old method. And if the evaluator is saying that I'm available in city A and I'm not available in city B, you get into a problem. On top of that, there could be other political issues that could get into the play if the evaluator, for making sure that the evaluator is available. And on top of that, there is no system today to ensure that the evaluator is exactly following the scheme given by you. I just want to give you an example. If I'm an evaluator, if you ask me to mark, say, chemistry answer sheet, even if you wake up in the midnight, if I'm a chemistry teacher, I will do it maybe 100 out of 100 times right. But if you ask me to do the clerical job of posting it on the cover page and keep counting, maybe after 10 or 15 scripts, the lethargy sets in, and it's not possible for someone to enjoy that work and then do it perfectly. Point number one. Point number two, at times you think that this question is carrying 10 marks, and we don't look at the marking schema, and people start correcting it, and what you are thinking as 10, probably the next day you are thinking that the maximum is 5. For a student who has written very well, you are thinking that you are giving him full marks of 5, whereas the question is carrying 10. So the student clearly loses out, and there is no system today in our current evaluation system to check this discrepancy. There is nothing else. So we are depending on the personal judgment and memory of the evaluator on some of the clerical issues or some of the administration related issues. Obviously, the domain is with the evaluator, but maybe it's a good idea to remove the rest of the evaluation related work other than the domain from the evaluator is what we are talking about. So what are the technology solutions available? We thought, let me highlight some solutions that have been tested in the market, deployed in higher education institutions. Probably I'm talking about universities, exam boards, that could be replicated across all boards and universities. First is, when you talk about question paper building, there are technology-enabled solutions available. Today, a subject matter expert is sending a hard copy to the board or to the exam body whenever he's talking about setting questions. It's a good idea to build a question bank throughout the year without letting the subject matter expert know that what question and where is this question going to be administered. So build a question bank over a period of time through a standalone computer, through safe methods and technologies that are available in the industry today. And when you are generating a final question paper, you can allow a machine or a computer to randomly generate a question paper rather than depending on a human being. Today we pick up 5 question papers, probably 5 different human beings may have given, or a committee may have driven, but one person will know that 1 out of this 5 is going. But there are solutions available where you can give your definition, you can give your metrics, and based on that, the computer can generate a question paper and help you get it printed anonymously without any human being knowing. These solutions are available. The next part is, once you plug in your content or the questions or items in a question bank, we are talking about solutions where the printing today, instead of doing at one central location and then transporting it to another central location, storing it there for a few days, again doing a transportation to exam center, there are technologies available where you can do the printing right in the test center just 1 hour before. This will remove the vulnerabilities around the question paper after printing. Today, maybe after printing, the question paper is kept in safe custody at least for about 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, depending on the examination. So we're talking about a solution here where the question paper after printing at those respective venues will be exposed. When I'm using the word exposed for any human eye or even authorized eye only for about an hour. The solutions have been deployed in university, UGC recognized universities, and it's running in few places across the country, proven tested solution. What it means is that a controller of examination will select a question paper out of those 5 question papers that are in front, which has been approved, authorized, uploaded into a application which may be running out of a data center, probably or possibly a government data center, so it's not exposed to any outside world, to anyone else. And once the COE pushes that encrypted question pack to the designated machines in those test centers, which are coupled to this application, that means the MAC ID is tied, the encrypted pack cannot get delivered into any other machine. The designated principals, observers, third-party observers, probably neutral observers, carrying about 2 different passwords, can open that encrypted sheet maybe just 1 hour before or before the designated time and get it printed in a high-speed machine which is sitting there. Redundancy is built in so that you will exactly know that if you need, say, 530 question papers, you will get 530. In a classroom, assuming that you're talking about a PG examination, I'm sure all of you are aware how difficult it is to administer a PG examination, particularly when it comes to question paper. The number of students will be very, very less. Maybe in a class of 24, in an exam hall, all 24 may be carrying a different question paper. That's the difficulty, and both the logistics difficulty as well as the costs around content and the transportation. Yeah, I'll finish in 3 minutes. So there are solutions available where you can get each and every different question paper for every individual, get it printed there exactly, and then move forward. So solutions are available in the market for this. So we spoke on the benefits of, we call it as just-in-time question paper. We are not talking about something which is theory. We are not talking about something which is on paper. This has been deployed on the ground and it's working. Possibly it's a good idea for everyone to do a small test or a pilot to understand the strengths, benefits, possibly weaknesses, and help people understand and make it better. Another solution that has gone into the market, for example, recently you would have seen that examinations like IIT JEE Advanced introducing a biometric authentication inside the classroom. whenever people talk about biometric authentication, they talk about doing it outside the classroom. Often you have seen that in a remote location where the bus or train going late, about 40-50 students getting into an entrance exam situation 10 minutes before the exam start, and all of them crowding outside. And that's a classic situation for impersonation, because person A is giving the authentication, person B is going in. Since the stakes are very, very high, it's important for us to go back to the old world method of checking the hall ticket inside the classroom, but do it in the digital way. That means you do a biometric fingerprint inside the classroom, probably take a photograph, and then verify the candidate whenever he comes for counseling or interview. These are proven methods running in the industry for 5-6 years. Just please understand that impersonation is an issue which you will never ever get to know until it is caught. Therefore, this is prevalent in the industry, and only those professors, teachers who are teaching those first year students will get an idea of how did this student clear the exam. Only all of them will know that there could have been a problem. So there are solutions available. The third one that I'm talking is an on-screen marking technology. That means scanned answer scripts are put into a central server. We are not talking about putting it in a laptop computer or localized server where the digital images are locally available in LAN, so overnight somebody can change. We are talking about putting something in a centralized server. Evaluators sitting anywhere in the world, or probably inside those designated centers, can get the answer script in front of them. You can even split one answer book into 1, 2, 3. If there are 3 different subjects, for example, economics, political science, and maybe English in the same answer script, they all can be segregated. They will automatically go to the respective evaluator, and it gets evaluated automatically. The biggest advantage here is that you can go and tell your student that here is a board that is promising you 0 totaling error. So you don't need to worry about whether to give the answer script to the student or not when he's talking about verification. Remove the concept of verification. You can ask him to go to a portal, swipe his card, maybe keep the fee based on your exam body's policy, push the answer scripts in a PDF copy maybe after 4 or 5 days or 1 week after the examination. There is no need for them to come to your exam, to your office or to the university or to the board for asking for answer scripts. Let them get a copy. Let them take a look at it. So while doing so, you can give them a promise that all answers have been awarded or have been evaluated. Number 1, and there is 0 totaling error. That itself is a big, huge leap. And the same solution can also bring in concepts like seeding that will also ensure probably evaluating the evaluator. That's actually a big topic, but since the time being short, I would like to keep this presentation stop at this point. But if you have any specific questions, I'll be glad to share more details on this. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope you can have discussion with Mr. Sundararajan offline also.